Hello, my name is the Fox, and I'm going to be talking about this game called Going Nowhere. It's an indie game. You can find it on GameJolt, and it's pretty cool. It's a parkourish, pixelated sort of game. Like the world is not pixelated, but the characters seem to be pixelated. It's one of those games, so that's cool. Um, the game So basically, you can run, you can jump and climb, and that's basically it. It's hard to describe, but this game was really fun. This was a really good game. I recommend. If nothing else, you just play it. Uh, so yeah. So I'm going to talk about what I think the game is about, because really there's nothing much more to say about the gameplay. I mean, you run around, and then there's a climbing mechanic, and like later on there is a super jump mechanic type thing. And yeah, I mean, all it is really just jumping and climbing. The thing that tests your brain is to figure out like where to go next. And all that requires is just looking around and some forethought. So I mean, it's not really that tough. So anyway, I as I was playing the game, I didn't trust that first chick that you meet, because there seems because I don't know, she was suspicious, and when she said he, like, that like laugh noise, I'm just like, right, there's something up here. um so the world is, I guess it's called Nowhere. Well, that's what I'm gonna call it anyway. And there's only two characters. There's a chick with like orange hair, and then there's another chick who has a hoodie on. And the chick with the hoodie on looks like that she looks more like a parkour type person, compared to the other chick. The other chick, I'm not sure. She looks like some sort of other in like she doesn't do parkour. Is pretty much what I'm getting at. But so I know a lot of people don't like to consider. I mean, what a lot of people don't like to say, hey, this thing, everything that happened was all in the main character's head. Because when people say something like that, then it makes the story seem like it makes the story not have any more weight, and make it less imaginative and stuff like that. But just hear me out. See, I think this game is set in a person's head. Like, obviously, we're not in the real world, because in the real world, if you fall off a building, you die. You don't jump off of a building, and right before you hit the ground, it all goes white and you appear somewhere else, because that only happens in video games. Um, the game seems to be talking about like something happened to you as the main protagonist. What I'm guessing happened is maybe you got into a car crash or something like that. But the thing is, well, okay, oh, it might not even be that. Nowhere just might be a lucid dream as well. The thing is that our protagonist is going through something, and we don't know what. What we do know is that it has something to do with growing up and being responsible. And the reason I say this is because the orange-haired chick starts talking about, like, now that I'm here, I don't have to worry about things like taxes, getting a job, and all those other things. I think that made everything become really clear to me anyway. That first off, I figured that the world wasn't real as soon as I saw the blinding light stuff, but like later on, but if you talk to the hooded chick, like you get this sense that there's that they're not real people. They're two different sort of ways of looking at this world that you found yourself in. Because one chick is saying, okay, it's not even ways of thinking about it. One chick wants you to stay, and then the other chick wants you to go. But she wants you to go because she knows that, you have to go out and be responsible and grow up. Like, you can't be a kid forever, and you can't not be responsible for your own life forever. So yeah, that's why this place is called Nowhere, because because we find out from the green chick, the green hooded chick, that you can't that like our main protagonist thought that he was going nowhere. Most likely, it was so most likely it was like this. Our main protagonist either didn't want to move on or something like that. I get the sense that the main protagonist, that our protagonist wants to do things kind of sort of his own way, but he feels as if he does whatever he is going to do, that he won't that he believes he's acting irresponsibly. He thinks that if he does what he wants to do, it'll be irresponsible, and that the only road is one road. That's why in the beginning of the game we see the signs that say one way. We can't go past that area because our protagonist believes at this point in the game that there's only one way to go through life. Sort of like you guys get what I mean, right? Our protagonist is basically, his life is I don't know, maybe he's allowing himself to let others direct him to what he wants to do, and that could be why he's there. He's not there for the same reason as the orange haired chick is there. The orange haired chick is there because she's trying to escape responsibility. I mean, our main protagonist is sort of trying to escape responsibility because he's allowing other people to rule over his life. That's why he's in nowhere, because his life is pretty much life has no meaning if you're not in control of what you're doing. If you only see one path, and it's because that path makes you believe it is the only path that everybody tells you is open to you, then you will feel like you have no choice in the matter, and all you can do is just keep moving in that direction that somebody else has already set for you. Think about it. You don't get the good ending by going the linear by you don't get the good ending to the game by playing the game. You get the good ending when you decide to go against what the orange haired chick told you, and you talk to the green hooded chick. Especially from if you watch my playthrough, what happened was I played through the game and I talked to the orange hair chick, and she told me not to talk to the green hoodie chick, and I'm just like, oh well, she's probably important, so I talked to her. I found her I found her all 3 times in the second level, but I got the bad ending because you have to find her in all the levels, and eventually I did, and I showed you guys the real ending, or the good ending. And the reason you get that good ending is because you decided to go out and do your own thing. You went your own way, and that's also true for like the bad ending of the game. In the bad ending, the green hooded chick tells you it doesn't have to end this way, because it doesn't. There's you don't have to go by what other people tell you to do. It doesn't have to be that way. But for you to get the good ending, you must show that you understand that you can make your own choices, and you have to allow yourself to realize that there is never just one way to go about things. There are many paths, and even though at the end of the game there's only two paths, maybe it leads to even more paths in the future. Like, but that's kind of the main point of the game. In like that's also why I think sort of why in the game world you're doing parkour, because from what I understand, for people who do parkour, it's not only them like doing something really cool and like for exercise. For some people who really are into parkour, it's more about individualism and freedom. And our protagonist does not feel free, and does not feel like they have individualism. That's why in the beginning of the game you can't do any of the parkour moves until that orange haired chick tells you, talks to you. Well, sort of until you realize that like the only way to get out of here is to sort of embrace freedom. And if you don't, if you just let the game play its course and you do everything that the game tells you to do, well, I mean, of course, what I mean by that is, okay, if you go the linear path and you don't deviate to talk to the green haired, to talk to the chick in green, then you will stay stuck there, because there's no point for you to even for you to even, like, you didn't try, so your life did go nowhere. You stay trapped in nowhere forever, and you live there, and then you die being obedient, or whatever, or whatever your situation is. I mean, our protagonist's situation is in the real world. So what is nowhere? Well, from the game it says it is. From the game description, from what I recall, they called nowhere a city or a town or something. That's just strange. I know some people are probably going to think it's purgatory. It's not purgatory. If anything, I would say that it's more of a maybe just a huge allegory for, like, because in cities people aren't really looked at as like an individual. They're people are kind of grouped up in cities. Like, if you go to a small town, it's a little bit different, because it's harder to be an individual in a larger city sometimes, because there could be a lot more people who are like-minded and stuff like that. I'm not going to really get into the whole city thing, but yeah, I think nowhere is, well, at least in the sense of this game, nowhere is like maybe a place between dream and reality. And I know that some of you might be thinking, "Ooh, Silent Hill," but no. What I think is I think this place is an area of our minds where we really do try to think about where our lives are going and how we're doing and how we're going to accomplish our goals. Because because the first time you talk with the well, okay, in the first area, when you talk with the chick, she says you wanted that hole to appear, you wanted this to happen. Like nobody, like obviously, since that hole appears, you're like, if you jump into the hole, you just, you die. Like, well, you don't even die. You respawn the same way you do in every other part of the game. So what I think it is that it's you, it's our protagonist trying to um it's him trying to, it's his own self-reflection. That hole isn't just a hole that blocks your path from going that one direction that you think you need to go and that you have to go, and that there in your, with your mindset that there is no other direction other than that way. It also it also represents an abyss, because as you go forward, I guess it might represent your self-esteem. As you go forward, you will just go lower and lower and lower until you don't even feel like a person, an individual. You're basically a robot. And yeah, uh, I'm not sure what the other what the two chicks are. They could either, like, I think one, I think they're both, like, maybe they're people you know, or maybe they're just aspects of certain people um, uh, that you have decided to project into just one individual. Uh, but yeah, it seems the world is obviously a dreamlike world, and obviously nowhere is like more of a it's not, it's kind of a magical place, sort of, but I really think it's just a place where where our character is trying to do, like, achieve self-reflection. Now, I think that the orange-haired chick might be real, perhaps, if this place isn't a a uh, a uh, a a world created by our protagonist. Because I mean, like, the chick talks about, like, being there forever and stuff, and like how this place is infinite and stuff like that. But it's weird. She says it's infinite, but then at the end of the game you start where you left off in the first place. So how is it infinite? Yeah. And anyway, there you also see a picture of this chick. So I don't know. Maybe it's about a controlling relationship, and the orange-haired chick could be, though, could be somebody who you once knew or whatever. Because the orange-haired chick is weird, because she seems to have, like, two different personalities, or two different ways of thinking of things. Because she doesn't want responsibilities, but she wants you to stay with her in nowhere forever. So it's weird. So I mean, maybe that's the situation our protagonist is in. Maybe he has to take care of someone. Perhaps it's like a girlfriend. Like, it could be his girlfriend, maybe his wife, or maybe his sister, or whatever. But obviously, with all the females you're talking to, this person has some trouble with women, obviously, and hmm, I guess that's it. Really, it's an interesting game, and guys should play it because it's fun, and there's some symbolism and stuff there, like how at the end of the game you can't go anywhere except going in that one direction that you created for yourself, and you can't leave until like like you created that direction yourself by talking to the chick in the green hoodie. So like at the very end of the game, everything that was created, like everything that happened, like as soon as the orange, like as soon as you get that good ending, from then on everything is your choice. And that's why at the end of the game, where you keep going down that path, the we're not in control of the protagonist anymore, because at that point that protagonist has severed all ties to whatever past life, or to whatever happened in his past life. So therefore, because he is free, we also, like, we as the player have to let him go and accept that he is now his own person and making his own choices. Like, and then that's why at the end of the game we see the path, because we don't know where he's going. The only thing we know is that he's going to move forward with his life and perhaps be a better person, or at least make his own decisions and make his own mistakes. And yeah, so that's that game. So it's an interesting game. I like some of the there really wasn't much stuff for symbolism. I mean, obviously that gate area with the sign that says one way is kind of the only form of symbolism that we get. Or I mean, well, that and the fact that we do parkour and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty much everything seems to be explained to you, but it's kind of like up to us as the players to figure out what the game is really going for and why things are happening the way they are. And that's my perspective on this game. It's a good game, as I keep saying. Play it. The gameplay's pretty good. It's like 30-minute game. You gotta find out, like especially if you want to get both endings. I mean, I was kind of frustrated because I realized that this was a multiple ending game, but I was a little frustrated. But when you sit down and you think about it, you begin to understand that there are more than two ways that this can go down. But if you boil every other possibility, there's only two. One is that you stay in nowhere. You stay where you are, and you don't even like the bad ending is even worse, because at least in the beginning of the game our character was moving forward with his life. In this game, in that ending, you stay in nowhere forever. And I'm not 100% sure what that implies. Maybe it implies that like you just become a less responsible person and you just don't care. And then I guess that's the bad ending. And then the other ending is choosing your path. The only thing I don't like is like when I think about the bad ending, you walk to a kind of side street area, and that's kind of in that in itself is kind of the point where like you're not where like what you're doing is just you're creating a detour for yourself. and like it was only meant to be a detour for you to then like keep going in the direction that you're supposed to, but instead this detour made you realize that you need to take control of your life, and like you need to have things become your fault and stuff like that. And I guess the orange hair chick just doesn't learn that lesson. Obviously it's more for you as a character, or our character, to grow and realize that everything is on, like, is that the world should be on him, and his choices should be his own choices and stuff like that. Yeah, is very interesting. This is probably one of the longest games I even talked about, maybe because there's a lot there. So yeah, so that's all I have to say about that. So yeah, the creators of this game, let me just see. Let me just see. So Stefan Patrick Irani, okay, and Dan, and then like good job. I'm guessing Stefan was also like the writer or something. Well I guess he must have been, because he's the design and art, unless the programmer wrote it. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, you guys did a good job making this game, and I do like how at the end, how like when you get the good ending, the chick in the green hood actually turns to look at you, and I think that represents that, like you need to make your own path. You need to go. So she's standing right next to the big square that says go. So obviously, it's best we leave. We're done. Our work in nowhere is done. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a spelling error or not, but like if you look in the title screen, it says going nowhere, but the going is the G in going is lowercase, and the and in nowhere is uppercase. That's interesting. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say. The green haired chick, I mean the green hood chick, the orange haired chick, they're all good, I guess. So if you feel like your life is going nowhere, then take time to sit down and reflect upon your life, and who you're allowing to control it. Just make sure you're in control of your life and you make your own decisions. And I guess that's really it. That's the whole point of the game. I think that's the underlining message. Just you do you, and be the best that you can be, and that's really it. Like, even if you are the worst person in the world, if you make your own decisions, then at least you know that it's all because of you, and it's not because you're allowing other people to rule over your life and to dictate which paths you take to live. And so yeah, good job, guys. And if you have a controller that can be used in the computer, the game is controller supported, so that's a thing. An interesting game. The only thing that I'd recommend is like you plug in your controller, and then like when you play the game, like unplug your mouse, because I got this glitch where like the where my character would be moving, and like I wasn't moving anything. I thought it was the mouse. It wasn't the mouse. It wasn't the controller. So yeah. Anyway, this has been Fox talking about Going Nowhere. Sorry for this being a half hour, but I thought that that this game deserved a bit of an analysis to really understand why I enjoyed this game. I enjoyed the gameplay. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the music and everything, but like for this game, the story and how in how it's told, um, not like it's told in a semi vague way and stuff like that, but yeah. So um, as always, just just make sure you're in control of your life. So Going Nowhere, a good game. I suggest you play it. Look for things that I didn't see, or write a comment on Game Jolt for the creators of this game. I forgot their names, or I forgot the name of the actual group thing. So yeah. Anyway, you guys stay happy or something. I don't know. So yeah, write a comment on how you felt about the game, either on my in the comment section below, or if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But tell the creators of this game how you felt about the game, because everybody loves feedback. Everybody loves being told, hey, you know what, this was interesting and stuff like that. So tell them what frustrated you. I already told them, like, well, I mean, I'm telling you right now that there's a little bit of a problem, or at least for me there was a problem with the controller, but it didn't change anything because I was playing the game with a mouse and a keyboard. So yeah, good. Bye.